Brock Page here, random sports picks for fun. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. May you stuff your bookie like a handful of stuffing up a turkey's butt. BAMA travels to Auburn to take on the Tigers this Saturday. We got ourselves a 3:30 Eastern kickoff at Jordan-Hare Stadium. The markets opened up the Crimson Tide as the 3-point favorites in this marquee matchup, and much to my expectations, the markets moved those numbers in favor of Auburn bettors. Right now, Alabama's minus 3.5, but only holds about 45% of the public action, so look for the number, at least in the early going, to fluctuate between 3 and 4 for the time being. I think if you're a Bama bettor in this one, 3.5, that number is a very fair market price to be betting sides on. Bama's faced double-digit spreads all year long, so to see them lay a number so low has got to be a breath of fresh air for Crimson Tide sympathizers. And despite laying double digits in every game except one, this Bama squad's covered 2 of 4 on the road, and 2 of 4 as the official road favorite. Bama's won their previous 4 contests by an average of 23 points per contest. The bad news keeps getting worse for Auburn bettors as the Tigers failed to cover 6 of 10 games overall this year. Auburn has also covered just 2 of 5 at Jordan-Hare and just 1 of their last 3. Now, total-wise, lots of scoring on the Auburn side of things. The Tigers are 3-1 to the overs in their last 4. They've also averaged 44 points per contest in those 4 games. Meanwhile, on the other side, very similar story in these Bama games, as they've gone 2-1 to the overs in their last 3 themselves. The Crimson Tide's averaging 35 points per contest in their last 4 as well. Having said all that, though, both defenses have been dominant in their most recent performances. Bama's giving up 12 points a game in their last 4. Auburn's giving up an average of 15 a game in their last 2 themselves. Tough to tell where the line will open up at, but I'm sure most of the early action will drive that number downward. All said and done, though, I'm really liking a play on sides in this one. All told, I'm buying the hook and taking the Alabama Crimson Tide minus 3, getting the job done against the spread. Next game I have for you, it is going to be the Miami Hurricanes taking on the Pitt Panthers. That's a new one. The Pitt Panthers. This Friday at Heinz Field, 12 o'clock Eastern kickoff in the Steel City. The Canes open up the betting in this one as the 14-point favorites on the road. Since the betting opened up, though, we've seen that line move downward to Miami, minus 13.5. Not sure if that line move was from the books or the early public action. Looks like we've got ourselves just about a 50-50 even split when it comes to the public and sharp money. The one thing I do know is that this Miami team's been a fairly decent covering team so far in the year. Miami against the spread is 5-4 overall and 2-1 on the road. The Canes have also gone 2-1 covering as the official road favorite and 2-1 against the spread in their last 3. They're going up against a Pitt Panther team who's covered just 2 of 5 in the friendly confines, as well as 3 of 7 when catching the points. The Pitt Panthers have also struggled when catching the points at Heinz Field, going 0-2 against the spread as the official home underdog. Pitt's also struggled to cover against top-notch opponents, covering just 1 of 3 versus teams over a 700 win percentage. Now, when it comes to the scoring, both teams have gone 3-1 to the unders in their last 4. Miami held their opponents to just 12 points per game in their previous 3, throwing out the Virginia game, of course. Now, when it comes to betting sides, nothing much here to make me think Miami can't overcome this number. Pitt's lost their last 2 straight, while the Canes find themselves winning their last 3 contests by an average of 22 points per game. If you like Pitt in this one, you may be able to catch another half a point or so at some point in the week. Other than that, I really can't vouch for the Panthers in this spot here. All told, I'm buying the hook and taking Miami minus 13, getting the job done against the spread. Next game I have for you, it is going to be West Virginia, Oklahoma, 3:45 Eastern start this Saturday at the Gaylord. The number opened up pretty high in this one. Not a whole lot of love for the Mountaineers. West Virginia opened this one up catching 21 on the road. And apparently that's not enough. With Oklahoma taking most of the early action, right now the Oklahoma Sooners are laying 23.5 in this conference matchup. The Sooners have struggled when laying the points this year, covering just 4 of 9 as the official Vegas favorite. They're going up against a West Virginia squad who's covering 50% of their games overall for the year. But these guys have been really good, and they've done a really nice job covering against these top-tiered teams. The Mountaineers are 3-1 against the spread versus teams over 700. West Virginia has also covered 2 of their last 3, depending on where you're shopping at. I really like this number here with the opportunity of buying it up half a point. Now, scoring-wise, we've seen both teams' games fall short of the line multiple times as of late. Both programs are 3-1 to the unders in their previous 4. The Sooners have also held their opponents to 11 points per contest in their last 2. I wouldn't look for the line to open up in the 40s in this one. If I had to take a guess, I think the over-bettors will move this line upward in the early going. All said and done, though, I do like a play on the number in this one. All told, I'm going to buy the hook and take the West Virginia Mountaineers plus 24, taking care of business as the underdog. Next game I have for you, it is going to be a big-time rivalry game. Clemson, South Carolina. Love this game every year. 7:30 Eastern kickoff at Williams-Brice. The Clemson Tigers opened this one up as the 15.5-point favorites. Numbers seemed a tad bit high to me, and apparently to the bettors as well. This one got moved down to Clemson, minus 14.5 at the moment. That number still could potentially pose problems for Clemson bettors. The Tigers have covered just 5 of 10 overall, and as the favorite, the Tigers have also failed to cover 4 of their last 5 games. Their lone cover in that stretch came at the hands of a garbage 40 or so yard touchdown run with under a minute to go. Game was clearly in hand. If Dabo takes a knee there, the game's actually over. So kind of questionable scenario there if you were watching it. But regardless, this Clemson team's facing a South Carolina program who's been an absolute covering machine this year. The Gamecocks are 8-2 against the spread overall and a perfect 6-0 catching points. South Carolina has also been white hot against the number as of late, successfully covering the spread in their last 6 straight games. If you're catching double digits at home in this spot here, why break the streak now? Real quick, scoring-wise, the bettors haven't been able to get a real good beat on this game based on the trends. Both programs have gone 2-2 to the overs in their last 4. We've seen a quality mix of both offense and defense out of both teams. Couldn't tell you where this one's going to open up at, and I really have no clue where the lines will move. But what I do like is the Gamecocks in this spot here. All told, I'm going to buy it up and take South Carolina plus 15, getting the job done at home. Next game I have for you, it is going to be Wisconsin at Minnesota. Won't take too much time on this game here. The Badgers open 16, now 16.5. Wisconsin 7-4 ATS overall and 3-1 when traveling. The Badgers have been favored in all 11 games this year and have gone 7-4 against the number, laying the points. They've got a Minnesota team who's covered just 4 of 11 overall and just 2 of 6 as the official Vegas underdog. Most recently, the struggling Golden Gopher squad has failed to cover 4 of their last 5. Not much more needs to be said. Wisconsin should cruise in this one and straight into the conference championship game. All told, I'll buy it down and take Wisconsin, laying the 16. Next game, Georgia Bulldogs at Georgia Tech. The Bulldogs open 12.5, now 11.5. Both teams have been very good against the number. Georgia Tech does hold the slight advantage in several categories. when it comes to covering the spread, though. The Yellow Jackets are 7-2 against the spread overall, and a perfect 4-0 covering at Bobby Dodd Stadium. The Ramblin' Wreck has also done a very good job when it comes to covering when catching the points, going 4-0 against the spread as the official Vegas underdog. In addition to all that, the Yellow Jackets have gotten the job done against these top-tier teams, going 3-0 covering against teams over 700. They've got themselves a Georgia Bulldog opponent who's failed to cover 2 of their last 3. Now, total-wise, we've seen a good amount of overs between both of these ball clubs. Both teams' games have gone 3-1 to the overs in their previous 4. That said, we've seen some pretty low closing numbers on the total when it comes to these two teams, so it should be a tough one to pick if you want to go over or under. As far as I'm concerned, though, my money's going to be on another dog at home. All told, I'm going to buy it up and take the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets plus 12, getting the job done against the spread in this one. All right, folks, I'm going to slide into my next and final game for the show. It is going to be Ohio State at the Big House to take on Michigan. The Ohio State Buckeyes opened up 10, took some early action, and are now laying 10.5 against the spread. Buckeyes are 3-1 ATS on the road. They've also successfully covered 3 of 4 matchups as the official road favorite. The Michigan Wolverines have covered just 4 of 11 overall for the year. They've also failed to cover 4 of 5 matchups in the Big House. All told, I'm going to buy this one down and take the Ohio State Buckeyes minus 10, laying the double digits. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. Once again, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoy it. That is going to do it for me. But before I get out of here, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.